Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm currently a social work student at Nottingham Trent University. I've just finished my first year, about to go into my second year. I'm 40 years old, so I'm quite old to be at university, but besides that, it's a big change from where I was a couple of years ago when I first came into contact with Framework. Before that, I worked in pharmacy. I had quite a good job, but there was a spiral of events that sort of sent my life going downwards, really. I split up from my husband, and during that time I became dependent on alcohol, and so I wasn't doing my job very well, and I lost my job due to that. Because I wasn't working, I then lost my home because I couldn't pay my rent, and so I became homeless. I had no job, I had no friends, I had nowhere to go, and really I was quite suicidal. I just didn't know what I was going to do with myself to get out of the hole that I was in. At that point, I was mainly sort of staying in people's, friends, relatives, staying for the odd night here or there. I didn't really have anywhere permanent to go. I just felt worthless. I didn't think there was any point to being here. Nobody would miss me if I wasn't here, and I wasn't actually doing anything while I was.
And how did your contact with Framework come about?
Initially, it was through the crisis team, because I'd been to my GP, because I was so depressed and suicidal, and they put me in touch with the crisis team. I did see psychiatrists there and psychiatric nurses, but also at the time a member of Framework staff worked there, and they put me in touch with him, and he was helping me work on some of the underlying problems that had led to me being where I was, such as the drinking and the debts and trying to find somewhere to live. And that's how I first got in contact with them. They managed to get me into a flat at Elizabeth House, which is a centre where people go when they've got nowhere else to live. And I was there for about 6 weeks, and it was quite intense because there's people there all the time that are there to help you if you need help of any kind. So that was really good, having someone around to talk to, because I'd become quite isolated. When I first arrived at Elizabeth House, I sat down with a support worker who was somebody that I was going to see on a regular basis to help me sort out my personal problems. And from there, she helped me to identify what it was that I needed, how I wanted to change my life, and how best it might be to do that. To start with, she helped me make sure that I got some money because I wasn't claiming the benefits that I should have been. And so she helped me fill in all the forms and identify which benefits I was entitled to. Because I'd never done it before, I just didn't know where to start with it all. She also helped me sort out my debt problems. She put me in touch with a debt charity who advised that I got a debt relief order to sort out all the problems I was having, because it was causing a lot of anxiety, people coming after me for money that I didn't have all the time, and it was making me quite ill.
And explain the journey from there. How long were you at Elizabeth House and when did you move out?
I was only at Elizabeth House for about 6 weeks, which wasn't very long really. But then I moved to step 2, which I moved to Beeston, which is an area I'm more familiar with. It's where my family are, so that was good that I was able to see my family again. It wasn't too difficult, and I could try and build some relationships back up with my family. I was there actually for almost a year. It was about 10-11 months that I was there, and I used to get visited by a support worker once a week, but if I needed them in between I could phone and they'd come out if I needed them to, and she'd help me sort of try and get ready to live on my own again. So she was more involved with making sure that I knew how to budget and to make sure that I wasn't causing any disturbance in the local area and there's no antisocial behaviour or anything like that. And just making sure that I would be able to cook and look after myself and do all the things you need to be able to do to live alone. Having that move on accommodation was really important. I didn't really need to stay at Elizabeth House any longer because I could cook for myself and do most of the tasks that you need to do. But it was the confidence that I was lacking, and I was worried how I would cope being back by myself. So having that in-between stage was really useful for me. Things have changed a lot in the last year. I say recently moved here. It was a year ago now, which has gone really fast. But this is a council flat, which Framework helped me with all the bidding and getting myself on the council list, and then actually moving. They helped me get moved in here and getting bits of furniture and things that I needed to be able to live here. And I started university in September last year, which has been a huge change for me. Getting back to study is something I've really enjoyed, and it gives me more of a purpose, a reason to get up in the morning. My life has changed an awful lot. I'm now back in contact with my family, so I do have those kind of relationships that I didn't before. I'm now busy at university. I've also done some volunteering with C, and I'm starting a placement soon actually with Framework, which it'll be strange being on the opposite side, but I'm really looking forward to. In the future, I'm hoping to be able to work with people who have mental health problems, because I think I have some understanding of the difficulties that they face, and I'd like to be able to help them. I never thought that I'd be the kind of person that would ever become homeless. You have an image in your head of what a homeless person would be, and it's sort of somebody living out on the street in rough clothes and long hair and a beard and a dog. But it has made me realise that things like this can happen to anybody, and I really shouldn't stereotype people. And I'd hope that other people would be more willing to treat people as individuals and see them for who they are, rather than the circumstances that they find themselves in. If I hadn't have had the help from Framework, if they'd not been here and helped me, I'm not really sure what would have happened to me, but I'm pretty certain that I probably wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be in this house, and to be honest, I'm not sure I would have been alive, because I was suicidal at the time, and I don't see how I would have ever got out of that.